Well, this morning's project, this is a procumbens juniper, or better known as Japanese garden juniper. Well, this is more of a Niwaki, but this is not the natural form. These are more like a ground cover, so they crawl along the ground. Well, about 30 plus years ago, I put a stick and put in these movement, right? So that's how you get a lot of the training done. There's never been a wire put on this thing at all. Remember I was telling you about Niwaki people versus bonsai people? Niwaki people never put bonsai. Well, anyway, last year I did some light pruning, but this year, this needs a deep. What's happening is I'm getting too much of these really long ones right here, so they get cut and get cleaned out so inside doesn't get all shady. What happens is if you get all shady, then it starts turning brown. Well, the best way to avoid that is to open it up so there's sunlight comes in through here. Okay, what I'm going to be doing, you see these that get long, we cut these back. See these? Cut them back. See this? Cut it back. Now, these should have been addressed a long time ago. Well, this whole thing could come out. See? Now, this is a juniper, and a lot of the junipers hurt when you work. The procumbens, or the Japanese garden juniper, and another version is the dwarf one, they're not as painful as the femina. But occasionally they'll punch through these exam gloves. And occasionally I might yell out, ouch. That's one of the reasons why I like to work on the boulevard cypress. They're more or less like a juniper in terms of how you style it, but it never hurts. Oh, look at all this stuff. And there was a couple times where I almost said ouch, but what can I say? I'm getting better at this. Oh, I really need to get in here and get some definition because this is all kind of all lumped up together, right? Well, one good thing about junipers, well, let me back off a little bit. Today is the second day in February, so we're getting into our growth season. Some of you will have another month or two, but it starts to warm up pretty good about now. In fact, 2 days ago we had record heat in the 70s. And then today it's cold again. But anyway, so we could get this stripped down to bare essential and it will just come right back. So that's what I plan to do today, is to get it down to see just the basic. And I think what I'm going to do is to turn off the camera and then get some done, and then we'll see the progress, or else you're going to be here a long time watching me do the same thing over and over again. And that's one of the things about the presentation on stage. Yeah, you got to sit there not seeing what he's doing and then forever and ever waiting because things take time. But anyway, I'm going to shut this camera down for now and then I'll get most of it done, and then as I see steps that need to be explained, I'll turn it back on again, okay? Okay, let's take a look at the progress we made so far. More on the ground than on the tree now. Once again, in the background, I'm trying to upload my YouTube videos. And it's a very slow start this morning. It's probably going to take me over an hour to get a 10-minute video uploaded. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have to start with, right? It's just probably 30 plus years in training. I think I bought this as a 1-gallon nursery stock. It takes a long time to get a nice trunk on it. So anyway, I'll get back to you when I'm done with the next steps. Okay, we got this line here. We got a branch going up here and down this way. Well, we want it to kind of go down, so we take this one off. See? And then now we start to, oh, there's another set. So this one comes this way, there's one underneath. So if we take this off, it'll go under. I'll just have to clean it up so that it's neat and clean, right? But Procumbens Juniper is, like I said, was a ground cover. So if you stake it up, the branches tend to go down, then there is absolutely no reason to wire it, right? Okay, so I'll go ahead and clean this up and clean this up, and then that's only like 6 or 7% of the whole project. Okay, this is what I plan to do for this whole tree. I wanted to get it all cleaned up and make sure the main line is in place. See, you have movement and taper, right? And the side branches. I picked this one because it was smaller and it was easier to use the camera on the angle at least. But I got to do the whole tree this way. That's why it's going to be at least a 2-hour project. And well, I try to keep my videos between 8 and 15 minutes. So anyway, I'll get back to work and then show you the progress as I get there. Okay, here's the second branch. See? So like the tree, you start over here, it's thick and it has a taper and movement. Okay, so I'm gonna do this next. So let's just call this like the before shot of the branch. So I'll go ahead and get started and I'll show you when I get done. Okay, now that's what it's going to look like. I cleaned it up. There was some big bulging and things like that. I could use some work in here, but I think it's pretty harsh. So you don't do this every year. You do it maybe every 3, 4, 5 years. I guess I'll get started on this one here. Okay, I got this one done. And I'll spin this thing around and work on this one here, huh? It is very time consuming. And also, you got to make sure you do this at the right time. Well, for here, I'm doing this in the first, this is actually the 2nd of February, and it's a little early, but it's starting to warm up, so it's okay. And then when you get done, you got to make sure it's in a well-protected spot too. So anyway, I'll continue on. I still got the stuff up on top too. So I think the next time I show you this, you'll be completed. Whew! How about this? Kind of looks half naked, huh? Like I was saying, don't do this every year now. Every so often you want to get it all cleaned up, but it's going to be tough. Well, what's going to happen is the bark itself has been used to being in the shade with all that foliage on it. So you should put this in a well-protected area until the bark get acclimated to more sun. This is a great specimen. It has good root flare. Look at the movement on this. And the taper is near perfect. I say near perfect because it's a little bit kind of funny up on top. I might have to change the apex, but other than that, look at the line on this guy here. And it was done with a stick. You could almost see where I put the stick in and put the curve, right? So Niwaki people do not use wire. I think I'm going to mark this so that in June I want to show you this, or anywhere near June when it recovers. So what I'm going to do is put in a fairly well protected area first, feed it really good, and then probably we'll be doing some touch-ups throughout next year. Then it'll be a perfect little, perfect very large bonsai or perfect small Niwaki. I think if you have a small garden, this will be proportional. Or a lot of people here, or at least in California that I know, have a nice big patio, and then I think this will make a really great focal point in the patio. Okay, so anyway, so this is Hiro saying goodbye. This has been the Juniper, a Japanese garden juniper. Anyway, we'll see you again real soon in another chapter. Hopefully not as intense as this one. Actually, this has taken me 3 hours, and be thankful that I'm editing these into much more manageable than watching me for 3 hours. Anyway, goodbye.